But let's circle back. Giovanni, welcome to the show.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's turn Giovanni up just a little bit. Okay. Giovanni, being that you are our resident digital marketing strategist and specialist, for the show, bring out your topics for today. Tell us what you're going to, empower us with today.
The main thing I want to talk about is an announcement that Facebook just made about really kind of tightening up the spigot on corporate and branded public content in people's news feeds. And if I had 5 hours to talk about that, we could talk about it. So we'll talk until you tell me to shut up.
Okay. Let her rip.
So Facebook came out about a week ago and announced that they were going to start tapering off content from companies and brands within the personal news feeds on Facebook. And this isn't the first time they've done something like this. They did this back in 2016 and dramatically reduced the amount of content that we saw, as individuals from companies that we told Facebook that we liked. And it caused a lot of kind of pain for businesses that focus on organic content in Facebook, because you had a situation where companies spent, years in some cases building up a loyal following of fans, of people that went and actively clicked on a link on Facebook and said, I like this company, I like this fan page, I would like to see their stuff. And Facebook took it on themselves to say, well, you know what, you're going to see less of it. And they tightened the noose and kept on doing it we got to a point where, on average, if you're everything else being equal, if you're a company on Facebook and you have 100,000 people following your fan page, when you post something on your fan page, you expect those folks that said, I want to see your stuff, you expect them to see it.
Right.
Well, today, even before this announcement that Facebook made this last week, we have gotten to a point to where less than 3% of the people that follow you on Facebook will see your content today.
Why would they do that?
They need money. They want money. It's partially because of that. It's also partially because Facebook has enough artificial intelligence in the background to know what we like and what we respond to and what we don't like. So Facebook has taken it upon themselves to basically say, we know what you want better than you know what you want, right? And so based upon how your friends and families behave on Facebook, we're gonna make some assumptions that because that's your kind of sphere of friendship and your connections, that you're probably going to behave the same way. So based upon what those folks that you follow, that you're connected with, do, we're going to start tailoring the news feed so that we present you with content that we think you want to see. And to be fair to Facebook, I mean, this makes, a guy like me, working for different companies, when my job is to help them get access to people that have said they want to have access to this company, it makes my job a lot more difficult, right? But it's Facebook's platform. And so there's an old saying that, if you're a pig, you're not the customer, you're the product. And so when you're out there and you're taking all this free stuff from Facebook and you're using their platform, you're paying zero for it, right. That means that they get to do whatever they want to. And if you don't like it, you can take a hike.
Right.
And that's whether you're a business or whether you're a user. So Facebook has, and this is to be, this is also partially in response to all the hoo-ha that's been kicked up over this last election. Facebook is trying to make sure that they do enough so that users are using their platform in a way that everybody is not attacking them for the role they play in society, right?
Right.
That's a lot to take on, right? But that's part of the mission. So basically, what they've come back and said, you are now going to see and they don't phrase it by saying you're going to see less branded content in your feeds. What they say is, we're going to show you more content from your friends and your family. The challenge they have with that is, number one, friends and family, they provide the audience for us to consume content from brands that they want to pay for. But it's kind of a catch-22 that if they're showing less of that to us, then it's going to be harder for us as businesses to get access to those audiences. So how do we do that?
Right.
The biggest thing you have to realize now is that more than ever, Facebook now is more difficult to use to get access to potential consumers or to the audience we get access to than even Google is now. because at least with Google, if you do what you need to do from an organic or an editorial standpoint when you put content out, you have a fighting chance. It's a fairly level playing field. That if you do a better job than even the 900-pound gorilla, that's in your industry, you have a good chance of ranking well in the search engines and all the search engines. Facebook is actively pushing that content now. So it's not only that you have to fight against big brands that may have bigger budgets than you to be able to apply to this stuff. Facebook is putting its thumb on the scale now to prevent you from getting access to those folks and forcing you to pay. Right? So rule number one is if you want to play on Facebook now, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to buy ads. You're going to have an active strategy that not only targets the right people, but you're going to have to pay for the access to those folks, number one. From an organic standpoint, there's still a little bit of life left in that for you for a business, but you're going to have to start producing video content. You've got to think in terms of why Facebook does what it does. And they're looking for ways to keep eyeballs on the page. They want people to stay on Facebook because they're selling ads, and so they want people to see the ads around the content, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing they want to do, which is a long-term strategy for them, they want to destroy YouTube. One of Facebook's main goals is to become YouTube. So from a branded standpoint, you need to start looking at how you're going to produce video content that speaks well to your brand, that lifts your brand up. You can't have a bunch of silly-looking amateurish video out there because it hurts your brand overall. But you've got to find a way to play the YouTube game on Facebook if Facebook organic content is important to you. So that's number one. Facebook will always give preference to video content over the other ones. Number two, you're going to have to play the game of influencer marketing. So if I have a company and I put my content on Facebook and I know that people aren't going to see my content, how do I get it? I get people that are individuals, personalities, that will share my content without linking back to my page. And this is a game you've got to play now because now, and this creates all this complexity in your relationship with Facebook. Now you've got a situation where your goal as a business is no longer to get someone to go to your fan page. Your business page, that number of followers, means nothing now because in the past, if I had 100,000 followers, that meant on some level that I had like 100,000 subscribers, like an email list.
Right.
That number means nothing now because it doesn't gain you anything when it comes to that content. So now you've got to go and play a game where you are now trying to get people to link to content that pulls them away from Facebook so that you can own that relationship again, right?
Right.
So I don't think that, certainly people who work at Facebook are smarter than guys like me, but when you look at it on the surface, they're shooting themselves in the foot because now I am motivated to pull people off the platform.
Right.
I don't want people on Facebook anymore because it harms me and my business. So now, and this is one thing I've preached forever, you always need to own your marketing. When you put all your eggs in Facebook, when you put all your eggs on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, I know that these companies sound huge and they feel like they're going to be here forever. Talk to somebody who invested in CompuServe or AOL, right? So, you need to be in a position where you own your content. Your content it resides on your own domains, and you pull people to your corporate websites that you own versus relying so much on places like Facebook.
Great lesson. Giovanni, thanks for being a guest on the show.
You look terrific today, too.
Thanks.
So.
All right, Giovanni Gallucci, our resident digital marketing strategist. All right, we're going to go to a break right now. When we come back, on the other side, we're going to be back with Ed Baxter, the private equity moment, and he's got some new stuff for us, too. We'll be right back. Segment brought to you by Lots of Yachts.